It's no surprise that celebrities and influencers are embracing NFTs, which is a new type of technology that uses blockchain encryption to prove the authenticity of one-of-a-kind or limited edition digital content. Basically, images and videos that can be bought and sold using cryptocurrency, which as far as I can tell is what happens when Venmo meets up with the stock market at the digital bean from Lizzie McGuire. While NFTs may be revolutionizing the way we think about owning media that can be easily duplicated in the digital age, it's also a great way for public figures to cash in on their fans with poorly designed digital collectibles, overvalued NFT collections, and big promises of an exclusive lifestyle experience that never comes to fruition, which is kind of like all of the other cash grab cultural revolutions that YouTuber Jake Paul has tried to ignite over the years. When the tech industry started talking about cryptocurrency being a disruptor, Jake Paul thought, disruptor, that's right up my alley. All of my neighbors hate me. So today we're gonna react to his and some other examples of the worst or failed cryptocurrency/NFT collections from an array of celebrities and other internet personalities. So put on your cybercoder sunglasses as we dive into a new digital era with Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other content here on the web, and we break it into pieces, like all of the ones and zeros that I assume go into blockchain encryption. We're a little bit outside my wheelhouse here. I'm not someone who knows nothing about computers, but this has had to have been explained to me several times. Has had to have been. Before we get into it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more internet sort of reaction videos like this. I'm trying to expand outside of just doing short form content and also looking at tweets, images, things that I feel like you know what it is. Also, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button. I upload 2 new videos every week, and you're gonna miss all of them if you don't click subscribe. Fear of missing out. Also merch, also Patreon. Let's see if we can get down to a solid definition of what an NFT is. I think that it's been overcomplicated by the media, but you and me basically know that it's like some type of code that you can attach to an image file to make it so like you're the only one who can have that unique copy of the image. It would be like owning the Mona Lisa versus owning a print of the Mona Lisa. Ellen is trying to tell us this, but like somehow makes me want to jump into the mouth of a volcano in the meantime with this monologue, which she actually is selling as an NFT. And this is our first example of a celebrity NFT cash grab. Granted, she was doing it for charity, but it really highlights a lot of the disconnect that I think celebrities are having here.
I like to stay current. I think y'all like to stay current, and if you count on me for staying current, good for you. And that's a shame.
I agree. It would be a shame if anyone is actually looking to you for topical information, Ellen, because your point of view sounds like it's that of an uncharismatic Facebook mom who thinks it's cute to misunderstand technology. Like, ma'am, if you can hook up the Bluetooth surveillance camera to make sure your gardeners aren't stealing free tap water from the pool house, you can grasp what a picture is that no one else has, right? It's the certificate of authenticity for your stupid thing that you're making right now. So as you see, this NFT is a 4K video file, so it could also be like an animation of some sort, I suppose any video file or image file. Now the big NFTs right now, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, it's like when you buy this NFT, you also get access to their exclusive yacht, and it's like a status symbol as well. So it can have real life things.
So the NFTs, everyone's talking about. Have you heard of NFTs? Anybody? Okay.
Don't be alarmed by that stark silence, Ellen. There's just a technical issue with the members of your virtual audience who are joining via Zoom, and that's that they've all died of boredom. But there's a backup plan. You donated a bunch of iPads to a girls' school in Somalia last year, so we're gonna force them to watch this. That's what's going on if you see any scared-looking kids on the screen, okay?
And I'm not talking about the National Federation of Tree Frogs, if that's what you thought I was talking about.
Wait. Are you a silly goose? I want you all to find whatever intern wrote that joke and take away their college credit, and then transfer it to me so I can apply it to my cosmetology license that's taking forever because I keep ripping people's hair out. I wish I felt okay making money off of lazy comedy writing, because then I would assert that NFT stands for not talented. But I don't even think that's a strong enough punchline for YouTube, Ellen. And YouTube is full of garbage. I have not watched an Ellen DeGeneres monologue in a long time, but this feels like really lazy writing.
I watched a YouTube video on NFTs. What I learned is that Bounty paper towels are 92% more absorbent than other leading brands. That's what the ad before the thing said. That's all I watched.
Yes, nailed it. Good jokes always require further explanation. I'm using sarcasm to imply the opposite, and you're just too stupid to understand it. The joke could have been something like, I found a YouTube video explaining what NFTs are, but all I learned from it was how absorbent Bounty paper towels are. Next thing I knew, I was waking up from a 3-hour nap. See how I built the explanation and understanding into the fucking words, Ellen's writer room? That's a whole room full of people who are getting paid well to live in fear of Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres.
You down with NFT? Yeah, you know me. NFT. Who's down with NFT?
Does she even care that this is gonna go on TV? I mean, she has to at least be aware of that fact, otherwise she would be mentally abusing staff members right now. I think most shows would just throw out the jokes that aren't good enough for the monologue, but Ellen here keeps those tucked behind the huge lapel of her blazer so that she can pull them out whenever the real jokes also suck.
Because the cat seemed to be very popular. I drew a picture of the cat here. Wait, hold on. Oh, I think I got it. Anyway, so I'm gonna sell this.
Ooh, you mean that piece of garbage that you didn't put any effort into? Yeah, that really speaks to the level of respect you have for the intelligence of your fans. They might have been fooled into thinking you actually wore makeup by CoverGirl with Olay, but now you're not even trying to seem like this is something you care about. And now I'm starting to question that rancid jar of Simply Ageless buttercream foundation that I've been saving to put on my cheeks during Pride Week. So as you can see, Ellen's NFT was her holding up that picture of a cat, as well as an image of the wide shot of her taking that picture, as well as this whole video monologue, which sold for the highest price at auction for $14,555. The silver edition, which is just the image, was $100. The gold edition was $2,500. And all said, Ellen just raised $33,455 for the World Central Kitchen Food Relief Charity, which is actually a really low number, considering she promoted this whole charity on her TV show and to her 79 million Twitter followers. There are still unsold or unclaimed NFTs from this collection, like, just waiting there. So I think this really illustrates how, yes, people are excited about NFTs, and obviously Ellen was being satirical, saying how, like, any celebrity could just start an NFT and it would sell. But obviously she pushed that a little past the point of being true, because while I'm sure people would love to buy Ellen DeGeneres NFTs to raise money for charity, they gotta be interested in the actual image. Like, imagine if Ellen had actually given us cool, well-designed NFTs that related to her brand, or that were each different. Like, I think that's the other thing that people love in these NFTs is like, oh, we've made only 1,000 of the $100, but they each are randomly generated to look a little different, so everyone's is unique. Like, that's where I'm thinking people get excited. But to just know you're buying this random photo of Ellen with a cat, like, even I don't care about hungry people that much. And I don't know what I was gonna say there. Don't improvise about poverty. So Ellen, your cat thing failed, and so did Shawn Mendes. He had an NFT collection with genies.com. I don't know. And it's like these avatars that are digital statues of him spinning. So like that of him holding the guitar, it's now fetching like half the price that it originally sold for at $2,500. Although Shawn Mendes himself made $1 million in like 10 minutes with that. Most of the buyers were not traditional NFT buyers. And this is our first example where they seem to be using NFTs as like a gamified thing where you can get all this exclusive content with your NFT, as well as, I don't know, wearable real stuff. The Genie's statue NFT unlocks a unique and rare wonder ring as a Genie's wearable that can be used for your own Genie. Collecting all 3 Genie's statue NFTs unlocks the 4th wonder ring, an ultra rare Genie's wearable that can be used for your own Genie. What? Details of the Genie wearable will be viewable by buyers upon purchase. That was really hard to read. This all sounded like that to me.
What would you do if when you okay so he said yes would go?
Listen, I don't want any ultra rare Genies because I'm more of a Jasmine than an Aladdin, specifically during the part of the movie where she's briefly made into Jafar's sex slave. And I can't even imagine what a wonder ring is in the context of cryptocurrency. cryptocurrency. Because that phrase is reading to me as very anus related. I don't make the rules, okay? I just make the sick beats in the DJ booth. A wiki wiki wow! Sorry about that. I don't know what that was. Ooh. You would think that there are some corporations that would just be able to put out NFTs and sell them immediately, like a giant media conglomerate, for example. Like if Disney did NFTs, you know everyone's gonna snap those up. Unfortunately for John Cena and the Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment Group, they found out they are not one of these companies. Here's John Cena at a convention talking about how his NFT launch with WWE didn't go well. This collection was basically a special John Cena Super Mario inspired merch that also came with like a belt and a t-shirt and some other physical product.
So why is it $1,000? Because myself and the folks in the WWE thought $1,000 was a fair price point. We were wrong. We were absolutely wrong. And I'm like, man, with a value like that, the 500 of them will be gone. We sold 37 of them. It was a catastrophic failure.
Right, because both you and the WWE only made $37,000 off of a few t-shirts and MP4 files. I feel so bad for you million-dollar entities. I get that this project ultimately lost money because they paid for TV advertising for this NFT drop, and that probably cost more than the $37,000 they made. But they're a global corporation, and I'm 99% sure that John Cena didn't have any capital at risk in this whole collaboration. So it seems a little dramatic to call it a catastrophic failure that it was a little harder than you thought to get your fans to overpay for a bunch of nothing. Like Kim, there's people that are dying. But apparently John Cena going into this was like, oh no, we'll definitely sell 500 of these $1,000 designs. He had a lot of faith in them. I just think he's not quite understanding the technology from this conversation.
I was like super proud of this one. Like, I love the design.
Okay, if you loved the design and he says he worked so closely with it, let's find out what it looked like. Here are those NFT digital trading cards that John Cena had made designed to look like Super Mario. May I present John Cena SummerSlam 21 Gold number 81500. Why did Muppet Baby John Cena just Fruit Ninja my face off and fly away? There are some other failed NFTs on this list that actually have very cool custom visuals and sound design. So I'm not sure why anyone would try to charge $1,000 for what looks like the first project in an Intro to Flash animation class. Well, I'm sure they at least made every trading card unique with its own like randomly generated sequence of predetermined animations. Let's check out John Cena SummerSlam 21 Gold number 50500. So not only was that exactly the same, but seeing it again allowed me to fully comprehend how they just took the 2D t-shirt design and used the warp tool to sort of make it look like the character was waving so fast that it's breaking the sound barrier. And yes, all 500 are like that. That's what all my white blood cells look like trying to fight off chlamydia. Hiya! You stay out of here, you Because this drop went so poorly, the headline is now basically that any celebrity-founded NFTs are basically going to plummet in value over time. And while that's not true for all celebrity NFT drops, it is for enough of them for people to think it's true. This NFT that I'm about to show you from Grimes, called Earth, was potentially inspired by the birth of her baby with Elon Musk. And she sold this collection for $5.8 million. It sold out in 20 minutes, but has dropped in value significantly on the open market. She only made 303 editions of this Earth NFT, and while they originally sold for $7,500, this one resold for $1,200 for an 84% drop in value. Okay, I got a little message for Grimes and Elon Musk. Your baby is only special to you. The only way I think I could care about your child is if it were stuck in a burning building. And even then, I'm gonna let the emergency responders do their job. I'll send an edible arrangement to your house once the immediate crisis is over, but like, I'm on the sidewalk watching. I think the important thing to remember with these failed NFT drops is that at least the celebrity who starts the whole thing makes their millions of dollars within a few minutes for very minimal effort. So don't feel bad for them, the mega rich elite. And just like anything that's kind of douchey, you know Jake and Logan Paul were on that like a Pikachu hat in their Suicide Forest video. Logan Paul launched not only an NFT collection, but also his own coin called Zoo Coin to go along with his NFT drop, Crypto Zoo. It's more like a company, I guess, I don't know. Crypto Zoo is an autonomous ecosystem where users can buy, sell, and trade exotic animal hybrid NFTs. Hybrids are categorized by rarity. The rarer your animal, the more they yield. Our goal is to mitigate the barrier to entry into NFTs with a viral, fun, and addicting game that provides real-life value. Let the breeding begin at Crypto Zoo. Oh god. I love when either Jake or Logan Paul start a new business venture because they try to write every big word down to prove that they didn't need college. Our goal is to mitigate the barrier to entry to NFTs with a viral, fun, addicting game. Mama, you couldn't even make that sentence sound fun. And the only thing I'm addicted to right now is making fun of you some more, so let's work. I feel like that tech bro goal of yours should have just stayed written on your Joe Rogan whiteboard up there, because that's the most technical and instructive front-end marketing that I've ever heard since Baby Bottle Pop with Lick the Pop, Dip It, and Shake It. Also, I don't think I can handle the sentence, let the breeding begin, without my mind jumping to something pornographic. I felt like I needed to reopen this page in an incognito window real quick. The idea is that you can combine these NFT base animals to create hybrids, and every animal yields a different amount of zoo coin every day, depending on how rare it is. But you only get that coin if you sell the animal or burn it, like release it into the wild. So it's like Neopets, except I'm not a 7th grader, so I don't want to spend any of my money or the entire length of computer class thinking about it. It seems like the most successful NFT drops are ones that at least do something unique with the visuals. Like, I feel the best way to sell an NFT is to inspire people with the same enthusiasm they would have for buying an original piece of art, because it speaks to them and they need to own it. If something visually impresses upon me, I'm gonna automatically value it higher than something that looks the same as everything else. So if I'm valuing it higher, I might get closer to paying $1,000 for it. Like, if each of those John Cena trading cards could have been a little different, then I would be probably able to see why you would spend more on it. The demand would be higher to have this unique thing. I wonder if Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo animals appeal to people's artistic sensibilities as much as it does their desire to earn money and win free stuff. Let's take a look. Here we have a gorilla mixed with a butterfly in what looks like someone went to town on a stack of zoo books making a collage. Who wouldn't want a piece of this action? Here we have a penguin mixed with a shark, proving that alchemy does work. It's finally possible to blend two $30 stock photos together and sell it as a $700 stock photo. Magic. And what's with all this exotic animal mixing, Logan? Are you trying to create an even deadlier pandemic? Either way, I cancel you for a 3rd time. Or is it the 4th? I don't know. Either way, get him off my screen and nobody ever talk to me about his podcast. I don't give a I wonder if the crypto cash grab from his brother Jake Paul will be any more cerebral. Let's look. The website says stick dicks. How many inches you got? Ugh. First of all, Jake, you don't need to worry about how much bubble tape I have left. I'm not sharing any of it with you because, frankly, with those teeth, let's just say you don't need any. Although nobody needed this phallocentric NFT game either. But I guess the simulation that controls our daily lives is just trying to make me say the most insane combinations of words these days. There's no way the phrase space millionaire creates dog meme money would ever hold any weight in a world created by God. So what is stick dicks Jacko Paul? Tell me. It says the cock blockchain revolution is here, but we have just one question. Where are the dicks? I mean, besides the female egg, is there anything more important than the erect vessel that creates the human life? What the After all, your wouldn't be reading this if your dad didn't pull out his dicks back in '93 after a few Applebee's all-you-can-eat buffet dinners. Your dad sacked up and made his move on your mom in the back of a Jeep Grand Cherokee. What the First of all, there's not an Applebee's location in the uni or metaverse that sells an all-you-can-eat buffet dinner. You're thinking of the 2 for $20 menu. So let's get that straight first of all, you stupid son of a. Also, Jake Paul originally tried to make it seem like this wasn't his project and he was just an ambassador promoting it, which was a bold choice since this entire website has Jake Paul's trademark sense of overconfident comedy writing from a boy whose babysitters all hated him. The male genitalia is something to celebrate, something to compliment, something we see as a natural artistic phenomenon, something that every adolescent drew on their school notebook in the 7th grade, or if you're like us in your mid-20s. Why do you have a notebook in your mid-20s? Laughing at 69 jokes? What does that mean? It came out of nowhere, that line. And still drawing dicks everywhere with no shame. Well, let's just give it one more year until you're in your late 20s, and then I think the shame might start to seep in quite readily. Also, I've spoken with sex-addicted gay demons who don't talk about how much they love dick this much. So it's definitely not reading as manly in the men's right manifesto sort of way, so much as the men's room at a circuit party type of feel. And most circuit party queens could probably beat up Jake Paul in a kickboxing match, just saying. Not that we choose violence. Mwah. The more they write on this website, the more I'm gonna burn my own house down and run into the forest. The male genitalia was once something admired by many nations, illustrated in the ancient Roman Empire, and depicted in statues of the Greek gods. Now, in 2021, men stray away from a friendly cock compliment. Not where I'm from, sweetie. Speak for yourself. Move to Palm Springs, Jake Paul, and I think you'll find there are a lot more of your fellow cock worshippers out here. And nobody in this town will be complimenting you for clout, since almost 100% of cultured queer people have never heard of you. Let's take a look at the other Sticks Dicks ambassadors, or as I like to call them, people should be embarrassed to have their name and image on this website. First it says Jake Paul, undefeated dick boxer. Do you think that I even give a Jake Paul? That's like telling me that you're the undefeated duck watcher at a local pond. It literally makes no difference to me in my life at all. Even the ducks have no opinion on that. Next, Lana Rhoades, the queen of dicks. Come on, we know you know who she is. I literally don't know though, so I know that she should be mortified. And the last girl's credentials are just her Instagram statistics, making this look like the saddest academic honors section of a public school yearbook. Unfortunately, all the Stick Dicks social media posts have gone silent since November of last year, with no further information on the brand's roadmap, which included plans to create physical merch and interactive games. Their last post on Instagram showed their team members getting these NFTs tattooed on their arms, telling followers that Stick Dicks would be around for millions more years, because apparently Jake Paul thinks that his weird little pictures that can only exist on a computer will somehow accomplish what an entire planet of dinosaurs couldn't do. I'm not saying he's wrong, but if I were any of these people, I would not wait around for a comet to extinguish our species before booking a laser tattoo removal consultation. All the comments under that post are like, funniest post ever, in it for the long run, scam, scam, scam. Can't believe I bought one of these, F you guys. They say the project failed and then they were banning anyone from the Discord who called them out. This didn't age well. Any in-person events happening? What happened to this project, LOL? Well, I think we can find an answer for you over on Twitter, Crypt King, where it seems like not everybody who was involved with this project was as happy as Jake Paul was to have their name included on that dick website we just looked at. Their latest post says, Stick Dicks holders when they figure out that Jake was being paid 55% of mint for promoting and was on the team behind it. Rug pull. It seems like someone who had access to the Stick Dicks Twitter changed the login and posted a supposed screenshot showing that Jake Paul was making 55% of this project, but has since apparently dropped all plans listed on the website to use $300,000 of that money to invest in influencer marketing, diamond chains, getting a Stick Dicks drawn in the sky over New York, Times Square billboards. Those last two things sound like ecological attacks. Like, are you a cartoon supervillain? What's your secret power? Spitting when you talk? OpenSea shows that this collection has decreased in value about 98% since dropping. So now it sits at about $7 for if you want one of those Stick Dicks NFTs, $7, it can be yours. I think that's still 700% more than a Microsoft Paint stick figure is worth. So maybe Jake Paul is not such a money-hungry idiot after all. Actually, I take that back. He does not come off as all that smart to me. And that's all we wrote for NFT You Know Me. Do you have any NFTs in your crypto wallet? What would it take for you to buy an NFT? Let me know in the comments below. Also give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more creative reaction videos like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so make sure you turn on notifications so you'll always be the first to know when I'm dropping one like an NFT, baby. Also, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access bonus episodes and exclusive virtual watch parties. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for crypto encoding a cyber thing with me today. I will see you next time. Mwah!